Welcome, everyone, to the start of the Winstel Cup Series chase. 6 races remain before we get to go racing here in Richmond, Kansas, Michigan, Talladega, Phoenix, Atlanta, the last 6 races here in the Winstel Cup Series campaign. It's going to be a wild trip, so we're glad you're with us here on ABN. Chase Field was set almost a month ago before the summer break. And on ABN's 8-year anniversary, we get ready to go at it once again. Here is what the points look like right now. Dylan Roberts, your regular season champion, ahead of Gabriel Mauricio, Emily Howe, Jacob Potak, Josh Chin, Jose Solis Jr., Christian Budd. You got Sean Pellig there in 8th, Andy Trupiana there in 9th, Lucas Davila, Michael Guest, and Colin Keister, your top 12 in the chase as we get things going. So those 12 will be battling for a championship over these next 6 events. Drivers like Keister, Guest, Davila, Trupiano, this is their first time battling for a championship. Same for Josh Chen. First time being in the chase to battle for the championship here in Winstel. So they've got to really up their game over these next 6 races. Outside the chase, it's a little different. Brendan McGee, Tyler Head, Kirk Marble, Christina Ryan, currently battling for the best of the rest category. Evan Locke in range as well. Brandon McKissick, Andrew Ferrinares, and Nick Doucette sitting top 20 in the points. Still a lot to play for here in this group because your objective, if you didn't make the chase, is stay top 35 in points. Top 35 locks you into the first 4 races of next season of the Winstel Cup Series here on ABN. Right now, if you're sitting top 20, you're sitting pretty. Still got some work to do, though, these next 6 races. This month and a half still to come. Parker Alexander, Alex Bates, Blake Cannon, Ryan Moyer. Also top 24. Mike Rasmussen just outside the top 24 here. And this is where it gets a little bit warmer. The hot seat starts to become found here. Mike Rasmussen, Tom Ouellette, Jeff Yinich, Philip Snipes, Ryan Hill, Thomas Lewandowski, Larry Pace, Tyler Murray, Brendan Coppinger, Chris Champeau, Jordan Bearby currently on the right side of that top 35 line. Ryan Daly, 6 points on the wrong side. Then you look further down, Brandon Cruz, Craig Lautenslager, Brian Andrew, Kyle Benson, James Ganthan. They've not raced full-time. Some of these names very familiar. They raced well when they've been on the racetrack. Ryan Andrew especially, Kyle Benson. We've seen flashes of that pace in the 83 car for Team Red Bull. But they've not been consistent. Logan Kress, we've seen him. He's just not been consistently available. So these drivers will have to try to work to close up the gap to that cut line over these next 6 weeks. Some more trouble further down the order you go. Corey Cook, Anthony Kroback, Zach Tyndall, Hayden Rapaw, Steve Brown, Austin Reedy, Matthew Seeger, Eli Sasek, Dan Breckus, Ethan Winters, Ken Huff, Bryce Saucier. Not consistently qualifying for races this season will make it a little bit more difficult for them. Over 70 drivers have started at least one Winstel Cup Series event. Hunter Waters, Chris Bishop, Vincent Crowe, Alex Choka, Christian Strader, Rory Collins, Bailey Thompson, Tyler King, Rocky Boyd, Joe Boehner, Colin Bowden, Matthew Molnar, all in that conversation. And you look even further down, Ty McWhorter, Steve Yinich, Dale Davis, Ryan Doucette, Tyler Saville, Mike Alexander, Anthony Foss, Colt Huff, Joseph Pashota, Matt Skipper, Michael Sturgill, Steve Buchanan adding to that list. So 84, a pretty clean and even number. You can see what that gap is to the top right now. Dylan Roberts with 5,000 points to get things started here. A bit of a prolonged practice. Drivers meeting underway as we get ready for the first chase race of the season. So the drivers have their radios turned on, listening to the series officials as we get ready to get underway. Huge shout out to Advanced, the newest partner of the ABN Studios and ABN Sports. That was announced earlier this morning as part of our 8-year anniversary deal. Official drink supplements partner of ABN. 10% off if you go to advance.gg. Use the code ABN Studios to get started. Appreciate them jumping on board here at such an important time for us here on ABN. Also, a huge shout out to all of our Patreon Premier Tier subscribers. Trade Slogan, Dogman 2935, Eli Sasick, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Hobby 22, Philip Snipes, Tyler Head, B-Dogs, Colin McDonough, Blue, KJ Gibney, J-Paw, Jake Potak, and June. If you want your name shouted out, subscribing to us on Patreon is the easiest way to do so. QR code in the description down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Help you get started. We love being able to shout out our supporters every week. If you are a subscriber via the Plus tier on Patreon, your name's also at the bottom of the screen for all of our broadcasts every week. Qualifying currently underway at the moment. So let's go ahead and let's jump into it here. See if we can find some lap times that are about to be underway. Colin Keister, someone to keep an eye on. See where he goes in that number 12 for Penske Racing. Down turns 3 and 4 goes Colin Keister. And that's good enough right now for 4th. Don't know if they got 2 laps or only 1. Some are acting like there's only 1 lap. We'll see if the second lap does count. Didn't really count. Christina Ryan coming across their finish line. First lap has to be a good lap. It's not a bad lap. Her best finisher at Richmond in Winstel is 13th back in 2023. But not a safe time either. You already saw a leapfrog there. Jordan Barabee going up into the top 10. Michigander, Sean Pelling in that Cobalt Tools, number 48. See what he can do. Every season, ABN's broadcast the Winstel Cup Series. The 48 of Sean Pellick has been in the championship conversation. This season is no different. What is different is that he has yet to win a race this season. Last season, he grabbed 2. Can he find victory lane? Really loose there at turn 4. Gonna hurt his lap time. Big time, 24th. Colin Bowden. U4 for Morgan McClure. Also not a good lap time. 26th for the 04 camp. The Australian. Corey Steinhauser. Actually running and setting a lap time here. Didn't have to. Not in danger of being bumped from the field. But you see how much of a handful it is. Any extra track time you can get is helpful. .33 have already set lap times here. Corey Cook crashed during his lap, so he will guaranteed to start at the back of the field. Colt Huff has yet to start a qualifying run. May also elect to start from the rear. Corey Steinhauser, hands full in that 77 car. And the lap time ultimately did not count, so he will also be at the back of the field. So just a reminder, those marked in yellow are in the chase for the Winstel Cup. There are 12 of them. A lot of them already at the front of the field. A couple speckled throughout the bottom half. Sean Pellig at 48, being a major contender that did not get a good qualifying effort. Brendan McGee, 13th, just missed out on the chase. You see Jose Solis Jr. They'll share row 12. Solis and Pellig. And so it's time to go over the full qualifying results here for the Chevy Rock and Roll 400. Qualifying results in full. Andy Trupiano on pole position in the 06. Josh Chen in second. The first time two debutantes to the chase have qualified front row for a chase event. Jacob Potak, Colin Keister will be in row 2. The defending champion starts third for the first race of the chase. Dylan Roberts, your points leader going in. Row 3 alongside former champion Christian Budd. Jordan Barabee and Emily Howe make up row 4. Jordan Barabee, the only non-chase driver in the top 10. Lucas Davel, the Argentinian, alongside Michael Guest to make up the top 10 here in Richmond. Gabriel Mauricio, Ryan Hill, row 6 ahead of Evan Locke and Christina Ryan. Good qualifying for both of them. These types of tracks, the short ovals, typically not in their wheelhouse. Christina Ryan, again, her best finish 13th almost 4 years ago. Let's see what she can do. Nick Doucette, likewise, needs a good result. Kirk Marlborough alongside in row 8. Row 9, Philip Snipes and Parker Alexander. And then you have Brandon Coppinger and Brennan McGee in row 10. Row 11, Craig Lautenslager and Kyle Benson. Jose Solis Jr. and Sean Pellig make up row 12 in this field. They've got a lot of work to do to avoid losing ground early here in Richmond. Tom Willett, Colin Bowden in row 13. Alex Bates, Chris Champeau, row 14, ahead of Eli Sasek and Lucas Strayer. Blake Cannon, Tyler Murray in row number 16, ahead of James Grantham and Corey Cook as the field begins to roll off pit lane. Cole Huff, Corey Steinhauser round out the field of 18 rows, 36 cars as we get ready to go racing here tonight. Good look at the preview, bottom of your screen, as we get ready to go racing here tonight. $16 rows of cars as we get ready to go racing. Sorry, 18 rows of cars. I do apologize as we get ready to go racing. It'll be a lot of fun to see how this all shakes out. It's almost time for the chase to begin. 36 cars, 18 rows. Trupiano and Josh Chen get us underway. And we're racing. Immediate trouble for the 47 of Barabee. Already dropping out of line. You saw how much of a handful these cars are. And that's going to be that way for all 120 laps tonight. Trupiano leads early. Potak already up into the second spot. Potak in that Performance Alliance car. Amazing looking machine in that 24. Keister in third. That's where he's moved up to so far. He's trying to find a way around Jacob Potak here. Josh Chin in 4th. Christian Budd in 5th. Dylan Roberts sitting in the 6th position ahead of Inley Howe. Lucas Davila trying to make a move forward here in the 19 machine. Inley Howe struggling a little bit early on here. Trying to find different lines to run. Seeing a couple puffs of smoke. Inley Howe, I think, is dragging the fence a little bit. Looking for very crucial clean air to make things happen. Michael Guester, the 46. Not far away either. Now getting clear of Davila. Davila now up on the outside lane, battling with Michael Guest. The 7 of Ryan Hill also in that conversation, as is Gabriel Mauricio in 11th right now. Evan Locke in 12th. Up a spot from where he started. And the 46 continue to battle it out just a little bit. Guest trying to push things forward. Davila trying to hold station in that battle for the 8th position, and does so. I guess we'll try to reignite that fight for 8th. It's going to be hard to do. Argentinian has shown a lot of pace in the 19 car this season. Got his first pole and his first podium this season. Helped push him into that chase conversation where he is now. Michael Guest also in the chase conversation, a race winner from earlier this season. Meanwhile, it is 3 wide for just a moment behind. McGee falling backwards, as is Philip Snipes. Colin Bowden following right now Craig Wattenslager. And sitting just ahead of Kyle Benson at the 83. You see both of the chase drivers further back in the field. Solis in the 48. Sorry, Solis in the 29. Peleg in the 48 as they try to work forward here. Peleg started 24th, remember, up 2 spots right now. As he works against Philip Snipes and Brennan McGee. They've got a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to get something done. 120 laps here at Richmond is not a lot of time. You believe it is. You basically complete 3 laps a minute here at Richmond. 22 seconds of the lap times around this 3/4 mile oval. Life comes at you quick. Solis tags the fence, trying to find a way around McGee. And does so. Peleg goes to the bottom. Looking to the inside, trying to make a pass on Kyle Benson, following Colin Bowden. Peter Ryan has likewise hemorrhaged a couple spots here. Started this race 14th, down to 16th. Lost out to Doucette, lost out to Marble. Now just trying to stay ahead of Coppinger in the 45. On board the 84. Finished runner-up in the points in the ABN World Championship that concluded on Wednesday. Still bound with Coppinger at the moment for that position. Hangs in there pretty well. Pelig and Solis both trying to carve through the field here. Working to the inside of Lonslager is the 48. Still chasing down Colin Bowden in that 04 as he works against the 44 of Parker Alexander. But everyone trying to make some inroads here. 3 wide just behind. That's Kyle Benson, Blake Cannon, and Brennan McGee. And they're 3 wide just in front now because Solis went to the outside lane trying to find a way around Lawton Slager. Instead, the 2 chase drivers will end up side by side with each other, battling for the top 20 spot. "19 laps in. Pressure from the 24, the defending Winstel Cup Series champion, Jacob Potak. But Andy Trupiano has held firm in that 06 so far for Penske Racing South. Pole position and 20 laps led so far. And as we persevere forward. Colin Keister struggling to maintain the same pace. Josh Chin not far from being on the bumper of the 12 as they drift out off the inside lane. They're running the middle of the racetrack right now, trying to give themselves ample clean air to operate and make things happen. Christian Budd in 5th, Dylan Roberts in 6th, Emily Howell in 7th. Now battling with Michael Guest. 2 different sides of the racetrack there. Emily Howell trying to defend that 7th spot and does so. It is still a madhouse in this mid-pack just to get into the top 20. Solis trying to barge his way through on Lawton Slager. Peleg's already got 1 foot through the door in the 48. And you see Solis 29 constantly drifting to the outside lane, trying to find the outer groove that we've seen drivers use for defensive positions. Solis trying to find the outside lane for attacking purposes, and it has been a struggle. Can Peleg get clear of Lawton Slager? Yes, he does. And the fight continues, and he just moves 1 spot higher. Brandon Coppinger, the 45, next up. And after that, Parker Alexander in the 44. Christina Ryan losing a spot. That is to Colin Bowden. For the first time, Bowden will have relatively clean air in front of him. A little bit of space to Kirk Marble, the 09. Up the road. Everyone flirting with the fence just a little bit. Front of the field, the pressure has amplified. The top 4 back together in the same bubble. Josh Chin pressuring Keister into going faster. Potak would like a chance at the race lead here. First 26 last week, that 27, led by Trupiano, the pole sitter. Remains out in front right now. But it isn't through a lack of trying. Emily Howell's caught up to this group, Dylan Roberts and Christian Budd. Is amplifying pretty high right now. Car already in pit lane is Philip Snipes. Not a lot of damage on that 2 car. I think this is a stop for regular service. That's a stop for other service for Philip Snipes. Davila pulling away from Ryan Hill just a little bit as they chase down Michael Guest. Look at this battle beginning to rage on. Bud and Roberts battling side by side. Josh Chin looks to the inside of Colin Keister. This helps both Trupiano and Potak. It lets them let off the gas a little bit and protect those right side tires. And caution is out. Caution is out. Solis and Evan Locke, teammates for Richard Childress Racing, both involved here. Locke was further ahead of Solis by about 10 positions, so this would have to start around the 33, and we'll understand why. Christina Ryan, not sure if that was a scheduled pit stop or not. If so, Christina Ryan did not go a lap down. Christina Ryan was trying to come down pit lane when the caution came out. So let's take a look at what happened. Let's look at Evan Locke's perspective of this. Does he just get loose on his own? Obviously gets tagged there after he's loose by Kirk Marble. Bowden trying to get him through here, and does. And that's when Solis gets a piece of him, too. Solis had made a lot of ground up in a very short period of time. So we will need to sort of go back here and look at this. Locke in the 33. Marble in the 09. Marble gets loose first. Loses touch of the 33. Does the 33 just lose traction late? Yeah, the 33 just loses traction. The 04 doesn't touch him. The 09 doesn't touch him until there. Yeah, very confusing on that. Very, very confusing on that. But under caution for the first time tonight. You're ready to go back racing. Here we go. It is time to get back into it. Racing once again here at Richmond. Everyone had a chance to take a pit stop there. And now fresh tires brings us a new opportunity. Trupiano, Potak, and Josh Chin, your top three. And I believe under caution again. And it's a pretty quick one. Tom Willett in the 6. It looks like had a piece of it. And so we'll take a second to see what happened here. Take a look here. What happened on this second caution of the night. Not many takers. Almost everyone had already come down pit lane. So what happens to Tom Millette? A lot of latency. And that's why McGee runs over the 6th Tom Millette, because he couldn't see him. So that's why McGee was so flustered there. So let's take a look on board, because this is gonna be what he sees. You see the blips of Tom Willett. It's a guessing game when you have that latency. We talk about it all the time. Willett slows down all of a sudden in front of him. There's nowhere McGee can go in that situation. All you can do is brace and hope for the best. And for McGee, it looks like minimal damage. But it's a scary situation. We talk about it a lot, especially on Mondays, the HL Cup Series. They have a lot of the plate races. They have 5 of them. And that's where it is the worst. You do not want to have latency on a plate track, because everything is so close quarters. It's the same principle here on the short ovals, whether it's Phoenix later up in this season, Richmond, Bristol, Martinsville. If you have someone that has that much dropout as far as latency goes, it is a nightmare. So Tom Willett getting repair work done as we get ready to go back racing here. So Trupiano, Podzak, Chen, Keister, Roberts, your top 5 once again. On this second restart on lap 41 to lap 42, the green flag flies and away we go. Everyone's still trying to chase down Trupiano, who has led every single lap so far in this competition. Josh Chen in third, got around the 12 of Keister. Going to try to keep that pressure on the 24 and the 06 here. Further back. A little bit of Copa Lib between Brazil's Gabriel Mauricio and Argentina's Lucas Davila. Side by side they run. This is battling for the top 10. Mauricio's got it. Davila wants it. Barabie's recovering from that earlier issue on lap 1. You saw the paint scuffed on that 47 car. He has had a rough night to start. We're already 1/3 through the race here in Richmond. Outside lane now prevailing a little bit stronger now. Nick Doucette in the 15 getting through. Jordan Barabie got through. Everyone trying to protect the outside lane as Brandon Coppinger tries to use the outside lane to follow Sean Pellick around Brendan McGee. .48 of Pellick, up 9 spots from where he started this race. Started 24th, currently sitting 15th. Your biggest mover, there's not been a chance for many big movers. Tyler Murray is the only driver right now who has gained double-digit spots. That's where he's at right now. Started this race 33rd. Battling for more than 18th. He has chipped away at this. Did not set a qualifying time. Had some significant work to do. And here he is, putting that work to use. Trying to find a way around McGee and Coppinger. Eli Sasek setting just a little bit further back. He is riding some pretty high highs. This team won the ABN World Championship on Wednesday with Tucker Sawyer. His team went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just over a week ago. The HTL Cup Series race at Talladega, and then went back-to-back. Rudy Valentin brought them a win at Circuit of the Americas last Monday. The Ascent Racing team boss has had a great time. Not doing too bad here. Does not race Winstel full-time in that 71 car. Currently sitting in the top 24. Not far away from that top 20 as to get around the 22 of Champeau and the 99 of Lautenslager. Davlo's dropped back a little bit further. Pellick battling with Marble in this battle for the 14th position. Remember, Pellick started in 24th. He is trying to get into the top 10 to at least be in range of his other Winstel Cup Chase competitors. Furthest driver back, Jose Solis Jr., 34th, after being involved with that crash with Evan Locke. The second caution of the night. Sorry, the first caution of the night on lap 33. Marble holds his ground and stays in that 14th spot. 48 will have to sit in 15th for the moment. Mauricio trying to get back into the top 10. Lost it to Barabit. Gonna lose it. Looks like a couple more spots at least. As there comes Nick Doucette in the 15 for Dealer and Hart Incorporated. Up in the fence. So many cars trying to defend that outside lane so heavily because it is such a valuable lane to defend with that they're scraping up against the outside wall. And some drivers will say it's just latency, it's just net code. When you have about 13 different drivers at different points throw out sparks and smoke, I have to say it's a little bit legitimate. Some of these contacts with the fence. Mauricio gets cleared by Doucette. Here comes Davila on the outside lane. And the battle between South America juggernauts continues. The Copa Lib rivalry between Argentina and Brazil continues. Davila lost that spot to Mauricio earlier, and Mauricio will lose the spot back to Davila here. Crossing the halfway point here in Richmond. There's Kirk Marble, the 09 for Phoenix Racing. Mauricio and Pellick still a little bit shy from their teammate Jacob Potak in second. But they are together and in the conversation right now, which is where you need to be, knowing you've got at least one pit stop to get to the end of the race here tonight. Strategy will be a big way forward. Will it happen under green or under yellow? That is the critical question. Solis down pit lane. And this is, I think, retirement for Solis. As Keister battles with Josh Chen. Everyone went top. Colin Keister said, I'll take the clean air and the free real estate and grab a spot. Keister back up to third. Strayer's had an issue. Lucas Strayer. This will end up resulting in a yellow. No yellow. Strayer toes out of the way. And the race leaders will come to a clean racetrack as Keister has looked to have saved more of his tires for later on in this run than Potak, Trupiano, and Chen. Two cautions in this race so far, quick succession, lap 33 and lap 38. Lap 33 for Evan Locke and Jose Solis Jr. Solis' race is over. He'll be 35th. The second was for Tom Willett and Brennan McGee. Both drivers still running from that. Willett a lap down, running in 33rd. Strayer almost brought it to caution. Not quite. Here we go. Battle for the race lead. 65 laps straight, led by Trupiano. Colin Keister is going to muscle his way forward. The 12th car to the front here in Richmond. And is that what was needed to get Trupiano off base? It looks to have helped Potak. He's going to try to get around for second. Chen in fourth. Doesn't seem to quite have the oomph in that 60 car to keep pace. He's under threat now from Michael Guest in the 46. As they run side by side. Potak got the over-under. Only to be over-under right back by Trupiano, who wants that second spot back. Potak stays with him. Guest up to fourth. Got around Chen. Got clear of Chen. Christian Budd, Inley Howe also in range. Dylan Roberts in range. Ryan Hill, Jordan Bearby are top 10 all there. And then Davler, who's made his way back forward. He's gotten around Nick Doucette. The battle continues here for second spot. It's going to give Colin Keister the breathing space that he needs to open a gap. I think Josh Chen has front of his tires a little bit too hard here. Lost to Guest, lost out to Christian Budd, losing out right now potentially to Emily Howe and Dylan Roberts. It is an all-you-eat buffet for Josh Chen, and right now all he is eating is despair as he's losing spots left, right, and center. Roberts takes the inside lane. Howe goes upper lane. Josh Chen slideways out of turn 2. Ryan down pit lane, 84. A little bit of scraping on the side of the 84 for Team Red Bull. As she comes down to her pit box. I believe this is scheduled service. Indeed it is. We go a lap down early here. There's Colin Keister. Out in front, putting Tom Willett a second lap down. Potak ahead of Trupiano. Trupiano under threat from Michael Guest. But now they've got to reel in a second and a half to get back to Colin Keister here. And Colin Keister, I believe, will try to hold out and go as long as possible to avoid being put a lap down like what you're seeing right now with Christina Ryan, who's trying to avoid going 2 laps down. And does so. 1 lap down the first car right now 1 lap down. So if a caution comes out, as long as Christina Ryan's not a part of it, she would get the free pass. But everyone has a pit stop to go, at least. Cipriano getting completely run around right now. Here comes Michael Guest. Tom Willett picks the outside lane, trying to stay out of the way, but they are 2 by 2 behind. As they walk through turns 1 and 2, Michael Guest trying to surge forward in that 46. Potek, the defending champion, holds on to second for the moment. Michael Guest is going to keep fighting this one forward. Keister now up over 2 seconds ahead of this battle for the second spot. More cars down pit lane. Benson, Champeau. They're both down pit lane as Michael Guest gets clear of Potek. Guest clear for second. But can anyone chase down Colin Keister? That is the $1 million question right now here in Richmond. Grantham, Benson, down pit lane now. Sorry, Benson and Champeau leaving pit lane. Grantham just came down pit lane. A lot of cars just came down pit lane. Very busy pit lane. Emily Howell, Ryan Hill, Josh Chin, Lucas Davlin, Nick Doucette, Kirk Marble, Sean Peleg, Craig Lautenslager, Brendan McGee, Eli Sasek, Tyler Murray, all down pit lane together. Coming to 40 to go. Keister staying out longer. Is the undercut viable? Is the next question that needs to be asked. We haven't had a chance to see it yet tonight. This will be our first opportunity to. More cars down pit lane. It leaves just 8 cars out on the racetrack as Keister comes down pit lane now. Guest, Roberts, Potek also down pit lane. So is Parker Alexander, the 44. How about Blake Cannon? He also comes down pit lane. Philip Snipes came down pit lane on lap 38. Can go a little bit longer than those that were around him. So he will inherit the race lead in the hopes that he can get a lucky break and pin most of the field a lap down for his caution for his pit stop. Doesn't work very often, but it might. We'll see. But you see the difference on the tires, how much the fresh tires matter. Getting completely run around by Cipriano, by Hill, by Chin. Again, a caution right now still helps him out pretty significantly. But he is in a madhouse, and he is on the wrong foot to deal with it. And he's going to come down pit lane this time and just avoid the trouble. Colin Keister will re-inherit the race lead. Emily Howell will inherit second place here in Richmond. And then the battle for third, Ryan Hill, Michael Guest, Andy Cipriano, Josh Chen, and company are all there. Was the undercut worth it? We asked some of those drivers if it's worth it. Christina Ryan's going to say absolutely. Undercut about 10 laps early and grabbed back up to 14th place. Now she'll be at a deficit to those around her. Marble came down pit lane on lap 79. She'll lose a couple spots here, but she was struggling to get out of the bottom 20. She was struggling to get just any ground. And making that undercut and grabbing those positions worked out pretty well for the 84. They expect her to do it again later on in this race. If we need another set of green flag pit stops, we might. The pit window is looking pretty iffy right now. I would say we might need a second round of pit stops under green if it stays that way. Battle further back, Davila, Benson, and Peleg. The 19, the 83, the 48, all in the mix, just behind Jacob Potak, who did not have a great pit stop sequence that go around. Here we go. This is outside the top 10, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Potak is in 10th in the 24. That's who they're trying to get to. Benson, not a chase driver. Not even top 35 in points. Davila, Peleg, Potak, all in the chase, and caution is out for the third time. It's Tyler Murray, the 07, who had such a good race going for him. Ends up wrong way round, still on lead lap in 24th, but not where you want to be. So let's take a look as to why. What happened to Tyler Murray? This is with Christina Ryan, Craig Lautenslager, the 99, Chris Champeau, the 22. In the turn one. Tries moving the 84 Ryan. Instead, it gets moved by Champeau. Relatively soft yellow there, but it is multiple cars. So it fits the criteria for that caution. Bunch of cars down pit lane. Your leaders, though, stay out. And so this is what things look like right now. Colin Keister, Emily Howell, Michael Guest, Andy Cipriano, your top four. All of them chase contenders right now. Ryan Hill, your first spoiler, in fifth. Jordan Barabee, Dylan Roberts, Jacob Potak, Lucas Davila, Kyle Benson fit top 10 at the moment. Then you have the 11 of Sean Peleg, started this race 24th, up 13 spots. If he can break into the top 10, I think that would be a pretty successful day for him. Kirk Marble, Gabriel Mauricio, Blake Cannon, Alex Bates, and our favorite paint scheme in the field, the Midnight or Later Burger King Machine, at 00 in 15th place, having a quiet but effective day so far. Philip Snipes in that gold number 2 for Penske Racing. Josh Chin, 17th. Christian Budd in 18th. Some of these drivers coming down pit lane this go around to get a top off of fuel and to try to make it from here to the end of the race. We'll see if they can. McGee in 20th there, ahead of Parker Alexander, Eli Sasek, Nick Doucette, Christina Ryan, Tyler Murray sitting in 25th. James Grantham, Corey Cook, Corey Steinhauser, Evan Locke, Chris Champeau, all on the lead lap, as is Colt Huff in the 31st position. Sorry. There we go. Colt Huff there in 31st is last car lead lap. Craig Lautenslager 1 lap down. Lucas Strayer on pit lane, but still running, as is Tom Millette. Jose Solis Jr., one of only 2 retirements so far. Colin Bowden, the only other retirement in 36th. As we get ready to go racing once again, it's Keister, Howell, and Guest, your top 3. We're back underway. Everyone's trying to make inroads here. You do not want to let the 12 or the 55 roll away with this one. They're also trying to navigate the 99 of Lautenslager, who's not a lap down because of an accident. So Lautenslager does not have any incentive to just roll over here. And that's going to make life a little bit difficult for the 12 of Keister, because Lautenslager has better tires right now. That's why he's a lap down. He pit later. He's trying to get one of those laps back, and right now he's got it. But here comes Michael Guest. And caution is out. Saved by the bell. And for Lautenschlager, that is a blessing. Mid-pack trouble. Mauricio, Marble, and Cannon. Decent chunk of damage on the 09. Fourth caution of the night. Blake Cannon in that number 88 for Robert Yates Racing. And another chase contender involved in an incident here. This time Mauricio, a lot of rear end damage on that 5. I think that's who we're going to focus on here for this replay. Mauricio battling to get into the top 10 here. And all 3 cars really close together. The 09, the 88, and the 5 right there together. Battling just outside the top 10 here. This was for 12th. And that is, I think, the worst case of netcode I have seen in quite some time. Blake Cannon gets turned by Josh Chen. That isn't netcode. The contact between Mauricio and Kirk Marble that it tries to predict there, 100% netcode and awful. That's horrific. We'll replay it again for you here and point out sort of what we're talking about when we talk about netcode, we talk about latency here. Mauricio not close to Cannon or the 09 of Kirk Marble. You see the gap the 5 has to both the 88 and the 09 in the bottom of the racetrack. That is atrocious netcode. You can fit half a car in between that space. I would say more than half a car there. That is just abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. And it's so unfortunate for them because there's not a whole lot they can do. Blake Cannon, a little bit of netcode there by Josh Chin. Not nearly as bad as what it was for Mauricio. Just awful. That's the last thing you want to see. Again, a reminder, when you look at the timer at the top of your screen, those in yellow are in the chase for the Winstel Cup. There are 12 of them. 1 has retired. Jose Solis Jr. is out. He is the only chase contender currently out here in Richmond, and he has a tall hill to climb over the next 5 weeks after this. As we get ready to go back racing, Keister, Guest, Hal, Trupiano, and Ryan Hill, your front of the field. Away we go. Tom Willett trying to stay on the bottom of the racetrack, just let everyone go through. Not a completely 100% race car. Emily Howe went a little too wide. Caution is out for the 5th time. And it is for Kyle Benson, the 83. What happened to him? He was up in the top 10. And it's all moved south for the Team Red Bull driver, and we're going to see why. Josh Chen made a little bit of contact there with Blake Cannon. Add a little bit more with Kyle Benson, who tries saving it here. I don't think he's going to have much of a chance with Parker Alexander right behind him. Yep, bingo. Spins right back up in front. That is Brandon Coppinger, the 45. Has to take massive avoiding action there. Did everyone else get clear of that? It looks like it. Good job, field. That could have been ugly. There's not a lot of room to move here at Richmond, and they avoided making any contact with him after the fact. He does come down pit lane because he does have the rear damage they're going to check out for him. Not what you want to see. 5th caution of the night. Does set us up for something fierce. We appreciate everyone tuning in to the Chevy Monte Carlo 400 here in Richmond. The first race in the Winstel Cup chase for the championship. Huge shout out to our new partners, Advanced. Needing help with energy, hydration, sleep, or focus? Advanced has got you covered. Use code Avian Studios, save 10% off of every order you make with Advanced. They've helped us a ton on our cancer recovery. They can help you too. We appreciate everyone spending your Sunday evening with us here for Avian's 8th anniversary. No better place we'd rather be than at a racetrack, covering some of the fastest drivers in sim racing. Colin Keister, Michael Guest, Emily Howell, Andy Trupiano, Ryan Hill, your top 3. It is almost showtime once again. Another lap of caution. Gonna let everyone get themselves into position here with less than 20 to go. Lights out on the base car, which means we're going green at the end of this lap officially. F1 has some work to do. If you're Colin Keister, your job is to defend. Michael Guest had your number on that last restart. Let's see what you can do this go around. Green flag flies away we go once again. 5th restart of the night. Everyone fans out, looking for space, looking for real estate. Importantly, trying to get around getting around Tom Willett, the 6. I guess trying to get around Trupiano, the 06. He's in the middle, 3 wide. And caution again, 6th time, and this time, it's unfortunately the Michigander. The 48 of Sean Peleg. Started this race 24th. Now sitting 25th. 6th yellow on the restart. I would say it's a get on Josh Chen a little bit there. Coming down. The 48 had already committed. You're already slowing down. There's only so much more you can slow down. Christian Budd gets a piece of it. Josh is going to think I was going for a free spot at the bottom of the racetrack, but from our perspective, that's a 3 for 3 for the 60 car tonight. And as a chase driver, you do not want to play with fire that much. Penalties can be costly here. And so the 48 will take a fresh set of tires, check that car over, and get back out there. Willett has been getting some serious laps back here, though. Now only 5 laps shy. Coming to 10 laps to go. Three retirements, 33 still running, 32 lead lap. But it's Colin Keister at the front of all of them. Keister, Guest, Hal, back at it. Three wide. Behind Michael Guest and Colin Keister. Trupiano gets clear of Willett. Sorry. Trupiano gets clear of Willett. I don't know if I said that or not. I think I said Keister. Keister was clear pretty well and truly. Trupiano got clear. So did Potak. So is Barabee. Barabee now in the 7th spot. Doing a pretty good job so far. A little bit elbows out here further back between Murray, Ryan, Sasek, and the 33 Evan Locke. This could get pretty nervous. Kotak trying to slice and dice his way into the top of the conversation once again. Car running high. That was Davila. Keeping an eye on that 60 of Josh Chin. Involved in 3 accidents so far tonight. Would be very painful to be involved in a 4th. Battling with Parker Alexander. Behind Christian Budd and Lucas Davila. Having just gotten clear of Willett. Everyone jockeying for those track positions now. Laps tick away quickly. We're coming to 5 to go here in Richmond. Potak slides clear of Ryan Hill for 4th. Usually we ask the question, can you throw the kitchen sink at it? I think the more appropriate question is how many kitchen sinks can you throw at getting around the 12 of Colin Keister? If you're Michael Guest, you've got a little bit of breathing space because the 55 and the 24 are battling for that 3rd spot. You've got a chance to make a dive here. But you got to make them count here. We're coming to about a minute left to go in this race if it stays green. Michael Guest, a lot of power on the exit. Couldn't quite stay side by side with him. 3 to go. Whoa, a little bit of contact. The 12 and the 46, side by side, door to door. Potak gets brought into the mix. Hal's there. 2 to go. Guest led that lap. Had to bump and run him here. How does Colin Keister respond? How about Potak in the 24? Can he find victory lane to kick off the chase? Coming to a 3/4 of a mile to go. White flag is in the air. 1 to go in Richmond. They are side by side, both rows at the front of the field. What's it going to take and what are you going to give? Through 3 and 4 for the last time. This is the run to the finish. Side by side, stepping out sideways, Michael Guest. And they wreck big time behind. Michael Guest bumps and runs his way to victory lane in Richmond. Had to be physical, had to be fair. And that 46 Toyota team will believe that they did both. Second win of his career in the Winstel Cup Series, Michael Guest tonight. An outstanding drive from the 46 camp when they needed it the most. Got it done. It does not get a lot better than that. I can assure you, it does not get a lot better than that at the end of the race there. That was intense. And Michael Guest did what he needed to do tonight. Run it down here in Richmond. Victory lane once again for the 46 camp. Colin Keister, Emily Howe, top three. We'll hear from all three of our podium finishers tonight. An outstanding job. A look at the results, though. 36 cars started, 33 took the finish tonight. Michael Guest, Colin Keister, Emily Howe, Jacob Potak, Ryan Hill, Jordan Barabee, Andy Trupiano, Dylan Roberts, Lucas Davila, and Josh Chin, your top 10 there. Ryan Hill and Jordan Barabee, non-chase drivers playing spoiler for some here tonight. Parker Alexander, Brandon Coppinger, Christian Budd, Nick Doucette, Philip Snipes, your top 15. Brennan McGee, Alex Bates, Eli Sasek, Tyler Murray, Christina Ryan. Top 20 here in Virginia. Evan Locke, James Grantham, Kyle Benson, Chris Champeau, Corey Cook, Craig Lautenslager. Gabriel Mauricio having a rough night in 27th. Lucas Strayer, Blake Cannon, and Sean Pelleg in 30th. For Sean and for Gabriel, rough start to the chase. Not a whole lot they could do. Both of them turned, not of their own devices, and couldn't really make it back up. Corey Steinhauser ended up back on the lead lap at the end, as did Colt Huff in the 01 machine. Tom Willett 5 laps down, the last finisher. Kirk Marble, Jose Solis Jr. taking the largest hit as a chase driver tonight, 35th for him. Colin Bowden only completing 37 laps tonight in that 04 machine to round out this field in Richmond. Absolutely wild stuff. And a fun fight at the finish there. Let's talk with our podium finishers tonight, because that was completely electric. A little bit of everything tonight. Green flag pit stops, cautions back to back, a lot of physicality. But everybody giving it a pretty fair shot. And we'll kick things off with our third place finisher here tonight. Emily Howe did a fantastic job working through this race, 120 laps, very physical, very difficult. Started this race in 8th, up to 3rd at the end, and a good start to the chase for the Winstel Cup. Walk us through the race for the 55 camp, because that was difficult, but you had one of the best seats of the house tonight.
Yeah, it was really tough to pass tonight, just because everyone's pretty even and the lanes were pretty even. So really just effective, just kind of biding my time, and kind of got lucky with the way it played out. Because I was running the top that whole second run, I was short on fuel, so I had to pit when I did, a couple laps earlier than most of the leaders did. So I managed to hop out in front of them before we got that caution, and kind of had those short runs to the end where I really didn't get challenged too much on the older tires. So I was able to just kind of keep third out of that and sort of start the chase in a good way.
6 races to go. It is going to be a gauntlet of races here. Gen 4 here at Richmond. Obviously, we have the COT, the car tomorrow, coming up here as well. We also have the O'Reilly Series car at Talladega. So we're running 3 different cars and 4 races coming up here. Kansas, I think, is going to be a lot of fun here. How important is it to start on the right foot, especially with the field being as tight as it is? Some drivers didn't have quite the night that you had here. So how important was it getting on the right foot and being third there and being able to mix it up with some of these drivers and not letting them get away?
Yeah, I mean, it was really tough to hang on there at the end. I mean, Potak was really strong, and then there was a couple guys who took tires there and had a big advantage. So really, was trying to just position my car to stay in a position where I could keep drag position that I gained, and then try to just not get wrecked coming down to it at the end. And then there are a bunch of cars that in the chase that also got pretty pretty large amounts of damage there. So hopefully this helps our chase hopes as we move into the next couple weeks.
Kansas going to be a pretty important race. Obviously, going to be wide open. The car tomorrow will be in play there in the Midwest in 7 days' time. How excited are you looking forward to that race? There's not been a bad COT race on the intermediates this season, and I'm sure Kansas is going to be one of them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially the way they made the bottom there pretty strong the last couple of years. We saw that in HTL, we saw it in Winstel last year. It kind of cements it is, the bottom is very strong there. So should be really interesting to kind of see how we play around and how we kind of move around and how the COT kind of gets us up and down the track, because it's going to be a very, very, very fast race.
We can't wait for it. We couldn't wait for tonight. We had to get to the summer break to get to Richmond tonight. Before we let you go and let you obviously get ready for the Brickyard 400 tomorrow night in the HTL Cup Series, if there's anyone I shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on the third place effort and a huge start to the chase for the Winstel Cup this season.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone behind the scenes at Winstel, everyone behind the scenes at ABN who puts all this together, all the fans who watch. Jose for teaching me how to be a good clean racer in LMU, and Jake Potak for being a good clean racer in iRacing, even though it's pretty rare these days. And I want to thank myself for almost running out of fuel and then putting myself in a good position to be a caution luck.
A phenomenal job for the 55 camp here. We'll see Emily again tomorrow night in Indianapolis for the HTL Brickyard 400. But she leaves Winstel's race at Richmond a podium finisher and a lot closer to the top of the standings. So once again, Emily, congratulations, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Woo!
A phenomenal job for the 55 camp. Colin Keister, a phenomenal drive for the 12 camp, but just a little bit short, quite literally a nose. Physical at the end. It looked like it was all fair and a little bit physical, and the games that are played here at Richmond. Walk it through your perspective of that, and if there's anything you could have done to possibly keep Michael Guest out of victory lane tonight.
Yeah, I was hoping to come home with the win there, but I took 2 tires on the pit stop, and we just didn't have enough grip there at the end. I went back and looked at the replay. It looked like Michael and I had a little neck code, but that was just good, hard racing. Only thing I could have done a little better is maybe run a little higher in 3 and 4 there and try to get a better run off the corner, but unfortunately didn't work out in our favor, but I'm glad to take home a second place finish.
It's very tight here in the chase for the Winstel Cup. 12 drivers all battling tooth and nail for all these positions. You were surrounded by championship contenders all night long. Potak, Trupiano, Hal, obviously Michael Guest in that mix as well. Josh Chin was there. It was bell to bell, one of the most difficult races as far as the point situation went there tonight. But we talk about so much how important momentum is coming off the summer break. 6 races, 6 weeks. It's a straight run to the finish here. How important is it for you being able to kick this chase off on the right note? Because it had been feast or famine earlier in the season. The technical issues that you were able to get resolved to get back to victory lane before the chase started. But it was an up and down regular season. How important is it to start this part of the season on the right note? And obviously the next question, Kansas coming up next in the COT. What's the feeling going into that race next week?
Oh, yeah, definitely very important to get the chase started off on the right foot. Like you said, we had a few runs there that a little inconsistent, but glad to start off with a strong start here at Richmond, and hopefully I can keep it going. Kansas and the COT, I do feel pretty good about that. I actually like the COT better than the Gen 4, and it's a mile and a half. I always like mile and a half, so I think we'll have a good shot again next week. Just hopefully we play the strategy right and are up front at the end.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this race plays out. Second place tonight. Started this race in 4th. Never dropped out of the top 10 at any point in this race. Very important here at Richmond to avoid going a lap down. Before I let you go, though, and let you obviously get ready for the races up ahead this week, whether it's on Wednesday or this next Sunday in Kansas. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. A phenomenal job. Always fun seeing the 12 car in the front of the field. Physical race, but a fun race, especially at the end here in Richmond.
Oh, yeah, just want to say a big shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Really enjoy going back and checking those out. Big thanks to Winstel for putting on a good show here tonight. And thanks to my good buddy Michael for running clean there, and we had a hell of a finish.
It was a battle for the ages at the end here in Richmond. One we'll be talking about for, I think, the rest of the season at least. Colin Keister, second place tonight. Colin, congratulations. And I know we'll talk to you again next week in Kansas. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
A phenomenal job for Colin Keister, but the man of the hour breaking through into victory lane once again, Michael Guest. A photo finish here at Richmond. A little bit of physicality. Colin said a little bit of net code. Everything was fair. Everything all good there. Walk us through it from your perspective, because that had to be a little bit tense to try to figure out a way around that 12 car.
Yeah, I knew I had an advantage just having the 4 tires. I was debating taking 2 tires as well on that pit stop that Colin did under green flag. Just we were all running together. I just cleared the other guys for second. And I was worried that everybody else was gonna take 2. So I was surprised to see that Colin was the only one. But I guess we saw why. I mean, the 2 tires, I guess, just didn't have the grip tonight. So yeah, I'm thankful I had the advantage there and that the field was able to keep it green at the very end. I was really thinking that we were just going to kind of go caution those last 30 laps. So getting those last 10 laps or so to race Colin there and be able to go side by side and try to get away, find a way at least in front of him, at least by nose at the finish, was really cool. Not very often I get to have those intense battles towards the end of a race, just with the nature of how iRacing is. So really cool that you can come into a league like Winstel and get that kind of racing here. But yeah, as far as my race, I'm really happy with tonight. Got really fortunate that, like I said, the race went green a lot of the way. I had to climb my way from 10th, which doesn't sound like a lot, but at a track like Richmond and this Gen 4 car, it's really tough to make a pass. So definitely looking forward to getting back into the COT next week, but couldn't be more excited to start off the chase with a win here.
We talked about momentum and how important it was coming off of the summer break and getting back into it. It is pressure at the highest level here from here on out. 5 more weeks, 5 more races that are in a pressure cooker here. Kansas with the COT, as you mentioned. You're looking forward to that race. Just about everyone is, I think, because that is going to be such a different race compared to the Gen 7 or the Gen 6 of the last few years. Then you have Michigan, then Talladega, Phoenix, and then Atlanta and out the season. Those are some pretty good, heavy-hitting racetracks. What's the feeling with the 46 camp? Starting off on the right foot here, it's all about maintaining it. How does it feel for you going into those last 5 races? Does those races really cater to the 46 camp?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I feel like we're kind of getting back to the cookie cutter tracks, not just in the name, but just the racy tracks. It's nice to get those in shorter races like these because I'm not the best qualifier sometimes. So even like tonight, it was really nice to have the groups widened. So places like Kansas, Atlanta, and other places like that is definitely going to be nice to be able to use the full track while we're racing. So a little bit more confidence if I don't start right up front. But yeah, it was a grind the last few races just to get into the chase. So again, super ecstatic that I'm starting it off with a win here, and yeah, hopefully continue the momentum in the next few weeks here.
Well, before I let you go and let you get ready for the week ahead and the race next weekend in Kansas, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. We've seen that 46 car up near the front a lot, but we've not seen it in victory lane as much as I think it probably should have been. Thankfully, we got to see it in victory lane tonight, so the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, the Weiler machine was fast. First of all, just thank you to you all for broadcasting and Winstel for putting the league on. Great races every week, and this is my first year doing it, but wish I would have been doing it for a lot longer, seeing how these races have been going, having a lot of fun here. And then, of course, Colin for racing me clean. That was netcode, how we got together, but tensions are high at the end of the race, so no matter what it's from, a lot of times contact like that can result in a lot more. So glad we were able to keep it clean there for sure.
It was an absolutely incredible battle. We loved watching it take place. Glad it was clean. Glad both you were able to race to the finish and be side by side there at the end. Michael Guest victorious here at Richmond, kicking off the Chase the Winstel Cup the best possible way. Michael, we'll talk to you again in Kansas next week, but enjoy the race win and enjoy the week.
Thank you.
A fantastic job for Michael Guest here in Richmond. Race winner for the second time in his Winstel career. Talked about his first season. He is a rookie in this campaign, and he is putting on a show. Both him and Colin Keister both have been. And we saw them front and center tonight here at Richmond. We appreciate everyone being with us for our anniversary here tonight in Richmond. 8 years of AVN in various different forms. This is what we do best. We have even more of it tomorrow. The HTL Brickyard 400 will be live on Patreon for Countdown to Green at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. We'll be live on YouTube. For those watching on YouTube, we'll be live on YouTube about 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow for a crown jewel event that we're anticipating. Whether it's anything like today's real-life Brickyard 400 or something completely different remains to be seen. But we're always excited to go back to the Brickyard. It's where the dream started all those years ago. On behalf of Winstel, on behalf of everyone here for ABN, Henderson Graphics, Advanced, our newest sponsor here for ABN Studios, I'm Carmen, Sienna. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Join us again tomorrow for a race at the Brickyard. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. We'll see you next time, everybody.